The Rayman series has been very popular over the years, and it all started back in the mid-90s. Rayman released on the PS1 as well as Sega Saturn and other systems. This game was a huge deal when it came out, and it was a launch title for the PS1. Rayman 1 was definitely decent, but it was a very hard game, and with its sequel, Rayman 2: The Great Escape, this game changed everything about the franchise. Rayman 2 had new characters, new plot, it was totally different than the first game, and it was a 3D platformer, not a 2D platformer. Rayman 2 was a big deal. It came out on the PS1, N64, Dreamcast, everything. Seriously, this game was very popular. Now, with that being said, there was one more game on the PS1 that was a Rayman game, Rayman Rush. And this was a different kind of game. This is a racing game, and you play as Rayman and other characters too. I saw this game at the game store and thought, wow, Rayman has a racing game? Why did I never play it? So here I am today. Is this game at all worth your time to check out and play? I'm here today to play Rayman Rush for the PS1. Rayman Rush was a PS1 game released in early 2002. It was developed by Ubisoft Shanghai and of course published by Ubisoft. The craziest thing about this game is, in fact, this is actually a demake of another game called Rayman Arena, or Rayman M in PAL regions. In fact, it's almost the same exact game, except Rayman Arena has a lot more stuff to do. You don't just race, you do like other action sequences and stuff like that. So Rayman Rush on the PS1 is a demake of the PS2 GameCube game, and it only has the racing levels, and that's about it. As you already know, Rayman Rush is a racing game, but it feels like a platform game at the same time. It feels and plays exactly like Rayman 2, believe it or not. You jump with the X button, then you can use the X button again to do your helicopter twirl, or depending on your character, their version of that. The square button shoots out this ice shot, which is your lum shot, and you can freeze your enemies to stop them in place for a couple seconds. That's very helpful to get past them. You can also use the square button to shoot lums at those purple wing things that act like a swing shot kind of deal, and you can use that to navigate through the level a little faster. The only other button that does something in this game is you can tap the triangle button whenever you're on those speed boosts, and you'll get a little bit of a mini turbo if you keep repeatedly pushing the button, and that can help you go a little faster than your opponent. When you start the game, you have 4 playable characters that you can choose. You can choose Rayman, the Henchman 800, Razorbeard, and Glowbox. There's 4 more characters too you can unlock, but you have to play the game and of course do objectives to get those characters unlocked. After you pick your character to start playing the game, there's 4 different kind of gameplay modes on each level, and there's only 12 races in the whole game, so not many tracks to do. The first main one is Championship Mode, and this is the one you'll be doing probably the most when you play this game, and it's just racing. That's all it is. Just get to the end and be first place. Then you have Time Attack Mode, and this is pretty much just time trial, but it's only 1 lap, and you gotta beat your time, and you have a clock that's counting down, and there's checkpoints throughout the race, so you have to hit those checkpoints before that timer goes out, and if you do finish the first lap without getting to 0, then you beat the time attack of that level. Lums mode is the same as Championship, except you have to collect a bunch of lums in the level. So you race like you normally do, you have to get first place, but you have to get all the lums too, so they added a little twist with that. The last mode is Target Mode. It's only available after you've beaten the lums mode of that level. Once you get there, you have to race against the clock, kind of like Time Attack Mode, and just shoot butterflies, and they'll give you extra time every time you shoot them. This is pretty much just Time Attack Mode, but you're shooting butterflies, so I guess a little variety there. As you race through the levels, there are going to be obstacles and platforms that you have to jump to make it to the next section, and you have a lot of speed boosts that come along the way sometimes. Then you'll find toxic blow-up barrel things, and there's even springs that can help you jump. And there's switches that you can hit too to trick the enemy. I never really found that useful, to be honest with you, because you can climb pretty fast, so it wasn't too helpful, I thought. You can't really die in this game at all. I mean, if anything happens, you just get frozen by your opponent, and then you get unthawed 2 seconds later, and you just keep on running. That freeze can really screw you up though, because man, 2 seconds is a long time in a racing game. Thankfully the AI is not too bad in this game, so if that does happen, it's kind of easy to catch back up. One thing I do like about this game is the different paths you can take when you're racing. You can go on the ground and just kind of make it that way, or you can go above and hit lum things and swing across, and sometimes you'll hit a slide, and the slides are the best. The slides make you go super fast, and you'll just go right past the opponent unless they're on the slide with you. With only 12 races in the whole game, the level variety is very limited. You've got your beach, waterfall kind of level, and those are actually nice to play through. Then you've got this dreary looking level that you climb up and it looks like a cemetery. Then there's like swamp levels and such. and then lastly the factory level, which I guess is like Razorbeard Ship or something like that. And that's about really it. It's very bland, and I think they could have added some more different kinds of levels in this game. The music in this game is definitely not bad, but it's very limited as well. The only music that plays is the menu music and of course your character's theme. The level doesn't have a theme. It's always the same song depending on who you play as. So if you play as Rayman the whole game, you're going to hear the same little banjo music. It sounds like Cat Dog the entire time. Also, for shits and giggles, I want y'all to hear my game. I think my disc was messed up. Y'all have to hear this footage real quick. That happened a few times in the game, and I'm not gonna lie, that scared the crap out of me the first time I heard that. Rayman Rush is a tough one to recommend, and I'll tell you why. There's really just no point in playing this game. Rayman Arena already exists, it has the same levels, plus it looks better on better hardware, more characters, 4 players in the race, and you have other game modes. Rayman Rush, the best way to put it, it's not a bad game at all. It plays perfectly fine for the most part, but it's just very, very vanilla. There's not a lot here going on. Why play this when you can play Rayman Arena and it has everything better about it? Rayman Rush is just an unnecessary game. To be fair as well, I also think Rayman Arena is just an alright game myself. I had it when I was a kid, I got it for Christmas, I didn't even ask for it. I played the crap out of it, but I have not really gone back to that game since. I remember the racing just being blah, and that's just what Rayman Rush is like. It's just like Rayman Arena, but a little worse, because it's on weaker hardware. And I love Rayman to death, and as well as the PlayStation 1 as everyone knows, but unfortunately, I would just say pass on this. If you're a video game collector and you want to get like every game for the PS1 or you're a huge Rayman fan, then this game is roughly around $10 complete in box, and that's not too bad, but then again, what's the point when Rayman Arena here is $10 as well, so obviously, not the greatest game either, but that's the better way to go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to give it a like. You got something to say? Leave a comment down below. And of course, if you want to see more content like this in the future, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.